Well, it wouldn't be a Mario and Luigi game without things going very dark. Good morning and happy hump day, everybody. Let's get to my low and my high, my active kindness. I would say my low is, it wasn't a bad day, but yesterday felt kind of long to me, I guess. Not bad, just kind of long. What's my high? Let's see. My high is I think I got a slightly better night's sleep than I normally do. That's always great. And what's my act of kindness? My act of kindness was I held the door for some people yesterday. So that was what I did. Actually, you know what? There was one thing I need to point out before I get into actually, you know what? I'll save it for the short. Okay, so where do I even start? Actually, you know what? Let me go back to my notes. Hold on, I have notes here. Get to my notes. Okay. Almost there. Getting there. Okay, so yesterday, Monday, Sunday, Saturday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. So, well, actually, when you think about it, at this point in the game, you're kind of going through a lot of the similar beats of really any Mario game, because, listen, there's got to be some sort of desert area in a Mario game, and after Mushrise Park, the dozing desert is like, right afterwards. So you literally so just like in an old Mario game, you go from, a grassy area to a desert one. Of course, there's more to it than that. The bros attacks are looking great. They can use Mario and Luigi can use fireballs now at this point in the game. The Chuggaaconroy's done. That's awesome. When we last left off, Bowser had just teamed up with Phantasma. Worst case scenario. But, okay, so apparently, in this universe, let's say, like, a physical item can be gone, but their essence or like their spirit is like still in the general area in the dream world, if that makes sense. So after Bowser and Phantasma find a way to steal the Dream Stone, they the stone is gone. But Mario and Luigi actually Mario, because it's Dreamy Luigi. Mario goes to the dream world, right? And apparently the stone has like a spirit that is refusing to tell where Bowser and Phantasma went. Okay? I mean, it's video game logic, and again, it's dream video game logic. So, yeah, okay, that kind of works. I can buy that. And, okay, I cannot talk about this video, and I cannot talk about the Chuggaaconroy's Let's Play at this point without getting to the fact that giant battles are back. For those of you who don't know, in Bowser's Inside Story, if Bowser was ever, literally about to die, crushed to death, Mario and Luigi inside of Bowser's body would activate something, and Bowser would grow to be, a giant, and thus it indicated giant battles, which is really cool. And the people behind Mario and Luigi Dream Team didn't really want to do that mechanic again, controlling someone from the inside. So they did the next best thing to work around it. Have one of the Mario brothers, in this case Luigi, in the dream world, grow to be a giant, and it fights another giant. And Mario's on top of Luigi's head. It's actually pretty sick. Like, seriously, this is the sort of thing, like, I just wish I saw, like, more of that stuff in I mean, listen, I grew up watching Power Rangers. Yes, Power Rangers was a Monster of the Week show, but it always, for the most part, it always ended with the monster, growing into the size of, like, a skyscraper, and then the Power Rangers getting the Megazord, and, fighting and stuff like that. That was always really cool. And yes, obviously hindsight 2020, I know there were people in costumes, but it was just so cool when you were a kid, Who am I kidding? It's so cool now. And like the Dreamstone spirit takes over like the machinery that is like nearby in the dream world and turns into like a drill dozer. And then like Luigi grows into a giant. It's actually pretty cool. It is. That's easily been like the coolest thing so far. Hold on. So, actually, not only has there been like giant battles, but we've been seeing some cameos from people from the other Mario and Luigi games, which I'll actually get into in a minute. Kylie Koopa from Partners in Time is there, and Popple. Yeah, the thief from. Okay, if you don't remember, for those of you who don't know, in the first Mario and Luigi game, which was Superstar Saga, Mario, Luigi, and Bowser team up to not rescue Princess Peach, but go after the people that took Princess Peach's voice. It was important later. And in the beginning of the game, Mario, Luigi, and Bowser get separated. Bowser gets amnesia, and he winds up running into a small little thief person by the name of Popple. And Bowser essentially becomes Popple's henchman. It's actually kind of funny. What's even funnier is like he has a mask on, so we the audience know, and it's kind of implied Mario and Luigi know as well, but they don't want to ruin the fun, I guess. It's actually really great. And Kylie Koopa from Partners in Time was a reporter who, it's like any reporter that you gotta get the big scoop in the story and stuff. Yeah, this game's had several callbacks to the previous Mario and Luigi games, and I'm all for it. Because I played Superstar Saga and Dream Team. So, it hit home right here. Although, again, as I said in the beginning of this video, it wouldn't be a Mario and Luigi game without things getting really, really dark. Remember how I said earlier in Superstar Saga when the main villain and her henchman Fopple, Cackletta was the main villain, they stole Princess Peach's voice in order to activate something called the Bean Star, and obviously, gain unmanageable power and, take over the world. Pretty much how that works. Like, that's like tame in comparison to what happens later in the game. Like, around halfway through the game, or close to it, Mario and Luigi actually defeat Cackletta. Cackletta's body is destroyed, but her spirit remains. Fopple sucks up the spirit into a vacuum, and later on, you see an unconscious Bowser after having regained his memory from amnesia, and Cackletta takes over Bowser's body, and like Bowser's face looks like Cackletta's now. It's really dark. Or you know what? Partners in Time. Like, okay, so if you don't know how Partners in Time worked, obviously it's time travel and stuff, but in the past, aliens tried to take over the world in Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. They were called the Shrews. And like, they were committing all sorts of egregious acts of torture on the Mushroom Kingdom citizens. They had a giant Yoshi-looking monster that was eating the baby Yoshis. Or actually, not baby Yoshis, but they were eating Yoshis. Not to mention, the finale of the game is one of the greatest plot twists in a game that I've ever seen. I'm still shocked by it to this day, actually. I don't want to give away what it is, but trust me, it's pretty great. It even Bowser's inside story, too. I mentioned Fawful earlier from Superstar Saga. He's essentially the antagonist of Bowser's inside story. And he combines with, like, the Dark Star, and at the very end, after you defeat Fawful at the end of that game, he tries to take out Mario and Luigi in one final shot by exploding himself and trying to see if that does Mario and Luigi in. Like, seriously, these games actually are pretty dark. Well, for these types of game standards. I mean, I've played there have been plenty of instances where I've seen darker stuff in games, you know. I mean, I played God of War, that should tell you something right there. Or, you know, some of the Legends of Zelda games are pretty dark. Or, oh man, if you want to watch something really chilling, watch the spear pillar scene in Pokemon Platinum. People out there know what I'm talking about. Some of you out there know what I'm talking about. The end of that scene still makes me jump after all these years. And some of you out there know why. And of course, in Dream Team, you have something dark here. And it's technically something that they hinted at throughout like the course of the game so far, but someone actually chronicled the story of, how the Pilo people existed, how they were, a thriving society. They were a great society. They were good people all around. They were peaceful people. They didn't believe in war and stuff like that. And then Phantasma appears and, things changed. And, it talks about how the battle was long and hard, and, it seemed all would be lost for the Pilo Kingdom if not for the Z Keeper showing up. And they shared this tidbit earlier in the game, but the story of how Phantasma, before being sent into Dream's Deep, crushes the Darkstone, and the Darkstone fragments, are scattered on top of the Pilo people, turning them into, stone pillows with, no chance of escape, and you don't know how long it's been since it's happened, which means, there's literally books about this in the game that you can read. And it gets really dark and sad. And in a good way. This is what a Mario and Luigi game tends to have, man. Come to think of it, we're not quite there yet, but we're kind of approaching when Halloween is getting here. Playing a Mario and Luigi game around Halloween would be kind of neat to do, actually. Given how some of the things in those games can be kind of dark. Woo! And I love how, because obviously when Chuggaaconroy makes his videos, he titles them something, and yesterday's video was Fate of the Old Republic, which is a Star Wars reference. And which reminds me, I love that ever since he started playing Kingdom Hearts, he's been really more talkative about his experience at theme parks and stuff. And he actually shared one really great idea if you're on vacation at a theme park, especially. Don't sleep in. if you're at a theme park, be there when, the gates open or the rope goes down or whatever. And don't go to the first ride you see. Go to the middle of the park. And then you go to a ride from there that you know is going to have a pretty long line later. And after that, spread yourself out. Go to a ride that's closer that you all. Basically try and do what you can in the morning before it gets too hot out. And when it does get too hot out, go back to the hotel, get some sleep, maybe get some food, relax. And then at around 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, with several hours before, it closes, the theme park closes, that's when you try going on the rides where the lines were really long all day. Because A, not only will the lines be shorter by then, but also it won't be so hot out because the sun will be setting. I mean, that's genius. In fact, it's kind of what I would do if I was at. Here's the thing. I'm the kind of person who believes in you want to save the very best thing for last. Because if you do the very best thing first, everything else is going to seem like a letdown. For example, if I have a steak dinner that comes with 2 sides or something, I would actually eat the sides first. Because I know nothing is going to be better than that steak. Save the best for last, you see. One exception I have, though, is when you're at a theme park. Because, listen, pretty much the best rides at any theme park are the roller coasters. Maybe the tower that lifts you up and drops you down, that's always a really popular one. Or maybe the giant thing where you're on a swing and you swing round and round and round. But let's be real here, roller coasters are more often than not the best rides at any given theme park. And those are where the lines are going to be longest. While I do agree that going into the center of the park, like Chuggaaconroy said, and then going to a ride is going to be long from there, from the center of the park, that's a good idea, but if you're able to knock out the big ride that is the best ride in the park, do it. Full stop. It's been a long time since I've been to Darien Lake, which I still believe is a Six Flags. The instant I get to Darien Lake, the first ride I'm going on is Ride of Steel. No questions asked. Ride of Steel, then the Predator, probably the Viper and Boomerang. Mind Eraser I would do. There's one roller coaster that has motorcycles on it. That's pretty cool. The roller coasters I would get done first for sure. And I would try and go on Ride of Steel as many times as I could before the line got long. For sure. But that's just me. So, yeah. Mario Luigi games can't be Mario Luigi games without having a little bit of darkness involved. And you know what? Again, when you go to a theme park, try Chuggaaconroy's advice. That's all I got. Hope you like this video. Like, subscribe to YouTube channel, follow social media. As always, I'm very humble this video for you guys to watch your video. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Remember, you guys want to talk to us, we need to let us back. Take care. Make good choices. 607 all day, baby.